How are you people? Today we have come with an interesting topic that has been trending online. People have been seeking answer to this question. So we have come to give the solution to the question. From where did Cain marry? We all know that in the scripture it is recorded that God created Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve gave birth to Cain and Abel. We also saw what Cain did to his brother Abel, and Abel was no more. So people have been seeking for the solution. People have been asking questions to know where Cain married from. So here with me, I have some people with me. You can see in our midst, I have Sister Joy in our midst. I have the great historian of our time here, in the name of Pastor David Igbo. He's the great historian of our time. He's the one to answer this question. Sister Joy, what do you have to say on this issue?
Good day. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be in this broadcast. I really appreciate it. These have caused a lot of controversies. People ask, God created Adam and Eve and they gave birth to Cain and Abel. Where did Cain marry from? Even yesterday when we were in service, someone asked the question, but nobody was able to answer the question satisfactorily. And I said to myself, if Pastor David were to be here, he would have answered these questions for us.
Thank you, Sister Joy. Here we have Pastor David. Pastor David, the great historian, what do you have to say about this, sir?
Thank you very much, my dear people. Cain married one of the sisters. Adam and Eve, as the first man and the first woman that God created on earth, gave birth to the first offspring, that was Cain. Then the second was Abel, together with unnamed sisters. So being the first family, Cain had to marry one of the sisters.
Thank you, sir. So are you now trying to tell us that Cain married his sister?
Yes, Cain married his sister.
And it's recorded there in the Bible, right?
Even though it's not written literally in the scriptures, but all the evidences are there. God purposely did this as to preserve the genealogy of human history. If you look at the creation, you will see that the first man that God created on earth is Adam. And the word Adam, earth, include both male and female. So in census enumeration or in counting, the woman is not counted as a separate entity. She is counted under a man, except when that woman performs a specific action that leads to her specification in the scripture. Like now we saw the first woman that God created, that was Eve. The Bible had to record it because that was the origination of a human being. And we saw in the book of Genesis chapter 3 where Eve was also written about to show us how sin entered into the world. Apart from that, we also saw the statement of Lamech in the book of Genesis chapter 4, when Lamech was telling us about the ancestral sin that made that lineage, in continuation of that lineage as the generation of the sons of man. We saw Ada and Zillah. So apart from that, we did not see any other record of a woman until we saw in the case of Sarah, in the case of Rebecca, in the case of Rachel, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, okay. So that is to say that Eve gave birth to other female girls, right?
Yes, Eve gave birth to other females. We call them unnamed females. Okay. But God has to preserve the genealogy of human history. Because already we saw that a lot of things have been happening. People have been trying to change history. A lot of people have come up trying to teach what was known as women pregnation, trying to tell us that man rather descended from a woman instead of a woman descending from a man. So God was very careful as to stop this. He decided to use the lineage or genealogy of a man rather than that of the woman. That is why you see in the genealogy we have in the book of Genesis chapter 5, the one we have in the book of Genesis chapter 10, Genesis chapter 11, First Chronicles chapter 1 to chapter number 8, Matthew chapter 1, and so on. All of them were masculine because God chose it to be so. Even in today's world, we saw that when a woman gets married, that woman will not answer her name again or the father's name. She has to change her own name to that of the family. That was the origin of this naming system.
And that is to say, if Cain married his sister, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob married their cousin sisters, does it mean that it's permitted to marry? Like, does it mean that you can marry from your family members those days? Because I don't really get that side.
Well, for you to have understanding of it, you must have a scholastic or dispensational knowledge of the scriptures before you be able to do justice to this.
Okay, please, sir, what's the meaning of that dispensation? Can you throw more light on
And also scholasticism.
Okay. When we talk about scholasticism, we simply talk about the in-depth study of the Bible. And when we talk about dispensation, we talk about an epoch or period of time when man's obedience and submission is being tested by God.